Friday, March 8th, 7 p.m. at the luxurious Napa Auditorium. Enjoy powerful and talented divas like Nadia Batson, Bonnet Bigfoot, Carol Addison, Nisha B, the Xavier String, Kareen Ashe, and a special guest performance from Nebal Chaitla. And the host of this esteemed event, the 1998 Miss Universe and still very beautiful Miss Wendy Fitzwilliam.
This girl is on fire.
Tickets for Woman Power this Friday at Napa are $300 reserved and $250 general admission. And they're getting scarce and getting scarce. For more information, call 678-7549 or 491-1802. This is Woman Power.
They go keep their money, I go keep my honey and die with my dignity.
WESN.
Good morning and welcome to a special edition of AM Prime. I am Jamie Rampersad and this is my co-host Lauren Lee Kong. We are here to bring you a special show for International Women's Day. So,
good morning, guys.
Yes, so this is not your regularly scheduled programming, so we hope that you guys are going to enjoy it. We have some amazing guests this morning with us that we cannot wait to interview. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Great. Thank you for joining us this morning. This is a dream of ours come true. We've been talking about this for years, and we are so pleased to do this together. We have been friends 40 years,
yes.
Believe it or not, and we are so excited to be able to speak with you, especially on International Women's Day. This is a topic very, very dear to me, and I want to just discuss a lot of great topics this morning with the guests that we have coming up. And yeah, Jamie, over to you.
Yeah.
First time, guys.
So just a little bit about us, because I know that for the majority of people, you guys would not know who we are. My name is Jamie Rampersad, and I am actually a boudoir photographer and makeup artist. And Lori, you want to tell them about you?
Right. So I'm a personal trainer. I've been teaching personal training for 8 years, and I've recently moved back to Trinidad in December. I was away for 25 years, and I am in the process of thawing out. As you can hear in my accent, I am welcoming myself back home, and I'm so grateful to have the friends that I do, including Jamie and my family around, to get back into Trinidad culture.
Yeah.
Yes,
sure.
I'm excited.
So how has that been coming back?
Coming back home has been great. It is the connection that I needed. And this, I think, is something that a lot of people and women, at Women's Day, we talk about how important it is to connect to family. Mm-hmm. Women and men are family orientated. But I found that has been a focus of mine in the last year. And I was thinking about it. I was living in Spain, and I missed my parents. I missed a lot of my friends that have been a big, deep part of my soul. That's what it feels like. And working in Gibraltar, living in Spain, I had a lot of great things going for me, a lot of great friends as well. Mm-hmm. And there's just no place like home. No place like home.
It's so true. So true. Yeah, I am so happy that we are here, because we have been talking about this, as Lori would have mentioned, for years. We have been joking with each other, saying that we should have a show. We have been saying this because we have the funniest talks as well as the most deep and insightful ones, and that is one of the reasons that we wanted to come on today, because we wanted to share some of that with our audience, inspire women, let them know that, listen, whatever your dream is, you can make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. So we were weekly speaking in Gibraltar on Zoom, and we would have these magical conversations. I thought they were magical.
Me too.
And with Jamie's energy and just her demeanor and the connection that we have, we spoke so openly about so many topics and so naturally that we found ourselves going, we should be recording this. And you know, when I saw Jamie, she has a Facebook page and she does Facebook Lives for her boudoir photography clients and friends. And it's a woman-orientated group, right?
Yes.
So
very much so. And so we do a lot of talks around upliftment and empowerment of women. Yeah.
And I am so proud of Jamie, and this is what I love to see in my friends and women that I'm getting to know, is that they're going outside their comfort zone. I'm not used to being on camera. I'm usually behind the camera, like as in behind doing podcasts, but not on camera. So this is a first for me. But you know, this is something that I admire so much with Jamie. I look at her with admiration and I learn from her. And I'm really grateful that she's included me on this journey, because this is how I got here today, is that she invited me on to be on one of the segments at, was it New Year's Eve?
I think it was the 30th of December.
Right, so it was for
2023, so just last year.
Right, yes, I was right around the corner.
Yeah.
This year is speeding by the way.
It is.
Do you find that?
Oh my gosh, Q2 is coming up, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know, but there's so many exciting things planned.
Yes.
So many exciting things planned, and this is one of them. And I've always wanted the platform, but I haven't been brave enough, I have to say. And I'm finding that confidence through Jamie, and through a lot of my friends, actually. And I do want a special mention to my parents. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. For believing in me. And I think that's what you need. That's what women need these days, is a support. When I say a support group, it's women around you and men that believe in you, that, you know, want to see you succeed, that give you positive feedback, give you positive criticism. That's the thing, right? Because how do we grow otherwise?
Exactly.
Right?
I loved how you told everybody that we are stepping outside of our comfort zone, because that is the truth, guys. We are doing this, and we're doing it scared, but we're doing it excited.
Yes.
But definitely scared. So I hope that you would give us grace when you guys are watching this and be like, yeah, okay, it's all right, you know. Yes, because we are human, and so we're doing this scared, and we are hoping that by other women seeing us do this and do it scared anyway, that they would also go after their dreams even though you are scared, because fear is there because of the unknown.
Yeah, and it can be fuel.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be the only fuel.
Correct.
I think love for what you're doing and who you're doing it with will fuel it way more than fear. But I do know fear has a place.
Yes.
You know, like you say.
And a very positive place too. I think that you can turn it into a positive thing. I think that, like, you have to look at it as, you said, fuel, as something positive. So so we are taking the fear that we have today, and we are using it as our fuel for today's show, you know. I
think fear gets you moving.
It does. It does, because it's the adrenaline. It's
I have adrenaline right now.
Yes. You're too funny.
But this, I do think fear gets you moving, and this is where it helps to be able to connect with yourself and clear your mind.
Yes,
right?
You go in, you go deep, and you kind of listen to that small voice.
Small, big voice, right?
Small, big voice,
right.
Yes, yeah. And I think that when you get quiet and you listen, that is when you hear it. But then the next thing is to actually have the courage to do what it's saying. Because a lot of times, it will tell you exactly what you're supposed to do. Right. But you are so scared because sometimes it's outside of your comfort zone.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like, shh, be quiet, be quiet. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear you.
Yeah, well, this is
But,
it.
you know, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like you have to be courageous enough and have that faith to answer that call and say, yes,
Yeah.
I will do it. And I think that for me, that small voice of saying, you got to do it, huh? You got to do it.
That's what got us here today.
Yeah.
The small voice going, you have to do it.
God got us in this situation today.
Yeah, well, this is it. I do believe in gut instinct and intuition.
Yes.
And oftentimes, a lot of people don't hear their gut very well. It might be clouded with noise. The noise of people around us, other people's opinions.
Yeah.
There's that. Then there's, when I say
That's a big
noise,
one.
it's a big one. Other people's opinions. That's a scary thing because especially if you guys, a lot of people are on social media. You, Jamie, put yourself out there on social media with,
It's
you know,
scary.
and it's so scary.
I'm telling you, it's,
right?
yeah, it's scary because, but then you have to say, I'm not going to let my fear be bigger than my dreams.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Say it again.
I'm not going to let my fear be bigger than my dreams. I just came up with that.
I felt that in my heart. I love
Oh,
that.
I'm so glad that you felt it in your
did,
heart. Oh,
I
it's
did.
so good.
That is so beautiful. And I think, James, that, you know, what you feel in your heart is going to drive you forward. I think our purpose on this earth, our path, is lit up with intuitive messages. They come to us through people, through opportunities. You know, there's people
Through
who
conversations.
through conversations.
Yeah.
Conversations. There's magic in conversations. This is definitely a theme,
Conversation.
right?
And this is one of those that we hope that it's going to be for you, where it is going to be one of those that you're like, yes, what they're saying makes sense. You know, just the other day when we were talking and you said, James, you're not going to see far down the road with everything. You're not going to be able to know what is going to happen, but you're going to take a turn. I don't know if you remember this,
Yeah,
and I think you
do.
called it a bend. You're going to take a bend and a door is going to open and you're going to go through that, and then you're going to take a next bend, but you cannot think that you're going to see everything and be able to take action based on everything that you know, because you're not going to know everything.
Well, I remember. So we were sat in my porch, guys. We were eating cupcakes, right? We indulge sometimes. I think this is very
Yes.
balanced, right? I'm a personal trainer, fitness, health, but also cupcakes.
Balance, yes.
Cake is life. So we were sat in my porch, and this conversation came up, and I just loved it because what it resonated with me is that there have been so many times in my life that I've had big decisions to make, and I've always felt them in my gut. But each step was never clear. And I knew the next step. And that was all I knew. And I had to put trust and faith in that.
That is a lot of faith, Laura.
That is
And
a lot
I
of
think
faith.
that shows how strong you are. I am so happy that you are here because it means that like more people get to see just how awesome this woman is. You guys do not even understand. I feel so honored that I get to say that she's my best friend in the whole wide world. And yeah, but she is awesome, and I'm so glad that more people are going to get to see that awesomeness and just really get to experience that and stuff.
Thank you, James, for believing in me.
Yeah,
you know,
of
there's a
course.
lot of women that I want to see their friends saying this sort of stuff to them, because we each have, all of us, women and men, we have gut instinct, we have intuition, we each have a purpose, we each have a path, we have things that we're passionate about, people we're passionate about, you know, careers that we want to achieve. We have a lot of similar themes in our life, all of us. And I think that support, that guidance, that mentorship that certain people can offer, this is just, it's golden. And I've been so blessed to have great friends and great mentors up till this point.
For sure. Friends and mentors and people that can guide you is so indispensable, right? Because they offer perspectives that you may not see. But here's the thing. I'm a bit, I would say, hardened, where I don't, like my parents will tell you, she does not listen. She does her own thing, she does not listen.
Same.
Right? And you know, I think it's because I'm one of those that I want to experience for myself firsthand. And so sometimes with that, you realize that you might put yourself through hardships, but I think in everything there is a lesson.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's so much to that. Now, this is something I was thinking about this morning. I was getting ready, and I got emotional, you guys, because I was thinking about the women that have had a lot of impact on me, and there have been many. But you know, the deepest love, oh gosh, don't get emotional, right, Lori?
Yeah.
The women that have had a lot of impact on me, you know, my sister and my mom. And the love that they have for each other and myself, you know, it's so deep. And when you love people that much, you want to see them succeed. And with that comes, you know, they want to try and tell you what to do or how to do, but in the nicest possible way. And so I have been called super stubborn before too. But this is the thing, is that each human being, so let's include everyone here, children, men, women, we each have an idea of how we want to do things.
Yes.
And this is part of the human experience, because we are born with this beautiful brain and beautiful mind, right? And we have to learn to critically think. We have to learn to sift through the opinions of others. We have to learn to listen to our gut, our intuition, to know what is our path, and learn to discover. The art of discovering as a human will teach you in a way that being told will never teach you.
Oh, yes.
Right?
I so agree with that. I love that. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. So I think, we kind of all have to be on our own paths. And by having the right mentors and friends to cheer you on, that have the same mindset. Now, I'm a big... when it comes to mindset, to me, that's everything. You know, you can only achieve what your mind can fathom.
It's true.
And so if you can't fathom it, I don't think that you can do it. So you have to dream big. Ladies, you have to dream big. The men out there too, but as it's International Women's Day, we just want to big up the women a little bit more today. But you have to dream big, and don't be scared to. Don't be scared to. You have to give yourself that opportunity and know that you are worthy of it. That's the thing.
That is a good point. Worthiness.
Yeah. That is something. So I have been reading a book called Worthy, and it's by Jamie Kern Lima. No association, even though we're both Jamies. She's amazing, and it is such a good book, and it's on worthiness. And if you really get down to it, and you really do that inner work, and you start to know yourself on a deeper level, you will notice that a lot of your triggers, a lot of your problems actually stem from the fact that you feel unworthy.
Yes, and I have been there. I have definitely had my moments.
We all have. Oh my gosh, we all have.
Right? And I have to say, it's probably only as I've come into my 40s. It's not a secret anymore, Lori. But as I've come into my 40s, I've been like, I've heard the little voice saying, but why would you be capable of this? Or whatever self-doubt that, might creep in once in a while. And I've been like, exactly, shh.
Yeah.
Because I've started to believe in myself way more.
Yeah.
And you know why, though? It's because of the reflection of myself I see in other women. Right?
Yes.
Now, I have close friends. There's two sides. There's probably many sides, but two sides that I'm going to look at. There's this side that one of my other great friends, she is up and coming. She is very clever, and she goes through her moments where she doesn't believe in herself. But there's these conversations that I have with her where I am blown away by her brilliance and her articulation. She writes as well. And I just love it. And when I hear certain things, I think, wow, you have so much. I picture this flower when I see her, and it's just waiting to bloom with power. She's waiting to bloom with, like, I don't know how you say, like just so much energy, and that would be her purpose.
potential.
Yes,
Yeah.
and but you know, everybody's in their process.
Yes.
And they can't always
We are
see it,
all in our
you know,
process.
right?
Oh, girl, it's such a journey. It is such a journey. We have come a long way from playing with. Remember when we spoiled the box cake?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We used to play tea set and cook in the kitchen with pretend things
And rice.
and rice. Yeah,
Yeah,
we used to
yeah,
play
and
together. I
water.
think we were 5.
Yeah,
We were
and
like 5 or
and
6.
We were
Yeah.
small. Well, we began at 3, but I don't
It's
think
true.
we remember
No,
3.
I
but
don't.
Yeah. But everybody journey. We all have a journey.
Well,
and
yeah. I
and-
remember going to school with you. We went to TML.
Yeah, we did.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we went, eventually we went to SAGS together.
No, so
Wait.
so
Were you in SAGS?
Yeah, I was.
Right?
Of course. Yeah, I was.
I have such a bad memory.
I know, right? No. So as soon as I came in there, you actually moved and went to
I moved to Port of Spain when I was 15
Yeah,
and
so-
went to Holy Name Convent
Yeah.
for a few years there. And and you were in Toronto for a while.
Yeah. So I was there for like about 5-6 years and
Yeah.
stuff, but that was during like school years, so I was much younger then. But yes, it's definitely been such a journey that we have both been on. You know?
Right.
Yes, sis.
Great. Well, great, Jamie. This has been a great conversation. A
Yeah.
wonderful start to my morning
Oh,
and a
yes,
brilliant
Alicia.
start to International Women's Day.
Yes, and I cannot wait for our guests. They are coming up next, so stay tuned, guys. Don't go anywhere.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
You are watching Strictly Legal on WESN Content Capital. Just give an overview of what exactly is that split arrangement.
In the studio now, you don't need to register nothing. You don't need. We can do that another time. But then it becomes a hit, and then everybody starts to want to claim.
The laws that predate many of the independent countries' constitutions are going to be those colonial laws.
We know there are an infinite amount of circumstances that would lead to a murder.
I have a great idea and, I have a great concept. But until it's actually expressed, it does not become intellectual property.
Accomplishments or targets of a forensic accountant is to quantify what may have been lost.
We believe we defend criminals and we manipulated the law and we exploited the system.
A responsible journalist will reach out to the person who they have the information on for a comment.
WESN recognizes International Women's Day 2024. The global theme for this year is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. International Women's Day provides an important moment to showcase commitment to women's equality, launch new initiatives and actions, celebrate women's achievements, raise awareness, highlight gender parity gains, and more. Collectively, everyone can make a difference within their sphere of influence by taking concrete actions to help build a more gender equal world. Happy International Women's Day from the management and staff of WESN Content Capital.
Hi, and welcome back to our programming this morning. So this morning we have a real life, what I would call superhero. She can fly, she climbs mountains, guys, and she writes books. This is no other than Miss Wendy Ouchig. We are so happy to have you here, Wendy. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine, and it's my honor and pleasure to be here, ladies. Thank you.
You are very, very welcome. You have such a story. I cannot wait to dig into it and to inspire the women and the men who are listening this morning on International Women's Day and stuff. This is my co-host, Lauren Leekong.
Good morning, Wendy. How are you?
Pleasure to meet you, Lauren.
Lovely to meet you. You are just stunning.
I love the hair.
Yes.
Yes, yes. I love the short hair vibes.
Love it.
Yes.
Great. Thank
Rocket
you for
girl.
joining us.
Yes. So, Wendy, your story starts off quite at a climax, actually. You were the first female captain of Trinidad's and Tobago's national airline, BWIA. And I want to speak a little bit about that journey because it is a journey that a lot of women might look at and say, you know what, I don't think I can do that. And I want you to set the record straight for them. Come on, tell them, let them know.
Well, the proof is in the journey and that I did it. However, certainly when I was young, the message that I got from everyone in my world was that girls don't do that, boys do that, men do that. Why don't you do something that girls do? And I had to battle the climate of my time. Thank goodness that has changed. And now I look around and I see female pilots everywhere. And I'm so happy because I know that I led the way. I showed them it could be done.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Now, you mentioned that at the time when you were growing up, that there were so many, and you say this in your book, that there were so many other voices saying that, no, that is not what girls do. You don't do that, right? How did you overcome that?
As I would say, I'm pig-headed and obstinate inside.
That's us too.
Yeah, great. I love it.
That's us too.
But it did take, at that time, because of where Trinidad was, it took me going abroad to study in another country where women had much more the models were different and the freedom was different for me to realize that I could. I think if I had not gone abroad in my 20s to study at university in Canada, it would have taken a lot longer before I got that message in Trinidad in those days. Mm-hmm. So the addition of having girls around me who were doing other things that were unusual. Mm-hmm. None of them were pilots, but they were, becoming engineers and truck drivers and taking me off into the bush to climb mountains and kayak and things. I realized, wait a second, girls don't do that in Trinidad at that time. But they're doing it. Why can't I then do this strange thing that nobody does in Trinidad? So that was the push for me to realize there's no limits to what a girl can do. Yes. I got that then, and I never looked back, never. So I'm still breaking all kinds of limits, as you would know again if you read the book.
Awesome, that's amazing.
Wendy, I would love to know what drove this passion for you to get into flying. I read a little bit of how you got started, and it sort of said you were very young, looking up into the sky, and you saw a jet plane and a jet stream, and you said you want to do that one day. But I would love to know the drive and the passion that really fueled you to actually get to it.
I'd have to say that as a little girl, I wanted to be many things. I wanted to be a ballerina. I wanted to have lions and tigers and bears in my garden. The flying came when I was 10, and that kicked everything else out. So I don't know where that came from because I had no role models in my life of pilots of any kind, certainly not female pilots. And my mom was a housewife. So I had no idea where that came from. But when something catches in your heart, it never goes away unless you do it. Right. So eventually, after many, many years, when I realized, hey, I should do this. That's when I was able to live it. But it caught in my heart at age 10. It just never went away. It was drowned out by the voices when I was growing up in secondary school, etc., etc. Until I realized, wow, those voices actually, they're not the only voices. There are other voices, and I'm going to follow these other voices.
Oh,
So,
we just spoke about voices.
We did.
Yeah.
What's the biggest voice for you, Wendy? Where does that come from?
it comes from my soul, it comes from inside. I feel as though if I listen to who I really am, I can do anything.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's so beautiful. I got goosebumps. I got goosebumps. You know, because we look for mentors and women in our life that inspire us. And I think this is an inspirational story. And to know that it comes from your soul, a deep place within, and you listen to it, that's magical for me. Yeah.
I've learned to listen to it. It took a long time. I've learned to listen to it and not to the other voices outside of me.
Right.
I'm aware of them, but I live from inside out. And now I know, because of my journey and where I've, the things I've achieved in my life, and flying is just one of my passions that I've lived. I know now that my story can help other, women and men and young people to find that space inside themselves and to have the courage to fly for themselves. And I don't mean airplanes, I mean fly their lives.
Yes. And so I actually want to talk about that part of your journey where you are climbing mountains, girl. Tell us about that.
That is something I've always loved hiking. Since, again, that time when my eyes were open that girls can do anything, I got into adventure stuff and brought that back when I came back to live in Trinidad. And then, of course, adventure stuff became a big deal in Trinidad, and lots of people are doing it. But at that time, again, it wasn't one of the things that the young ladies did. Mm-hmm. So I got into adventure stuff, and over the course of my flying career, when I could travel very easily, excuse me, I began hiking all over the world. So I hiked all over the Caribbean. I have done most of the mountains and volcanoes in our Caribbean chain. Wow. And I hiked the major mountain ranges of the world. And the Himalaya was one of them that I went to only once to attempt the trail to Mount Everest Base Camp. But I've hiked in the Andes, I've hiked in the New Zealand Alps, I've hiked in the Rockies, I've hiked in the Swiss Alps. I love hiking. I'm still hiking in my country, but of course it's a different magnitude, but still beautiful.
Yes, brilliant. That's amazing. And I know that you had mentioned that during COVID, you got the inspiration to write your book. Tell us a little bit about it.
About why I wrote the book?
About why, about what it's about, everything. Tell us.
Okay, so COVID made me realize that everybody was very discouraged and people were forgetting that they could dream. And I thought, I've been avoiding writing this book of my life for many years because people keep saying, Wendy, you should write a book. And I thought, people need something to raise them up out of the doldrums that we're all in because of this situation. And I thought, I have a story that could help. And so I sat and I wrote the book. It came pouring out because it'd been waiting to come out for years. And the reason I wrote that book was not to tell people how to be pilots. It's not a book about becoming a pilot. It's a book about overcoming fear, overcoming other people's opinions, overcoming challenges, which I had many of, to reach the thing that fuels you and fires you up and that you want to do with all your heart. And so it's a story of my journey, but actually it's a message in every step of the way for anyone who's struggling, anyone who's doubting, anyone who's afraid to listen to their inner voice, anyone who's feeling caught up in the changes of their life and they don't know where to go. They'll see that they can. The message is, yes, you can do it. You got it. You got this.
Yeah. And so you have had to overcome a lot. What advice would you give to people about how can you overcome? What would be your number one tip?
My message is, yes, you can overcome. The how will depend on your journey. And the place to go and nobody can really know your journey unless they walk it. My journey was a challenge for me almost every step of the way, but somebody else has different challenges. I would say, know that you have everything you need inside of your spirit and your soul. Now you have to believe that. And then you have to find the people, the help, the support you need, and start walking. Start doing the work. There's so much available to help us learn and grow to the place we want to be. Believe that you can. That's where it starts.
Yes, agreed. Agreed.
Yes.
Wendy, I wanted to ask you, what would you say is a pivotal point that you can think back to that you had to really find your courage? Yeah, I'm sure you've had many points where you've really had to go, okay, press the gas pedal, let's go. But I would love to hear it from you at various points of your career, because you're multifaceted in what you're doing now. And I love that. And I would love to know what were some of the points that were pivotal for you to find your courage?
There are many places in my life. I'm going to just mention one that is in the book, The Courage to Fly. The day I got really, really sick on Mount Everest, trying to get to base camp. And there's something called altitude sickness that can kill you if you push against it too hard. And the people in my group, I was on an expedition, and the members of my group kept falling by the wayside because they would get the altitude sickness at a particular altitude. And I was going up and up and up. And I got to about, say, 14,000 feet. And I got it. And I realized I cannot move an inch. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't raise my head out of my sleeping bag. If I did push, which some people did, I could really hurt myself. I could die. That same week, a young man had died further up the mountain because he popped some pills and he went. So I lay there and I stayed there for 3 days, and my group left me. They left me in my tent, and they left a Sherpa with me to make sure I didn't die. Right. And I stayed there for 3 days, and I had a choice: do what the other people in my group had done, which is stay there or go down with your Sherpa and wait for the rest of the team to come back. And when I started feeling better, I started going for little walks. And after 3 days of staying in place, I decided to keep going up the mountain with my Sherpa to go towards my destination, my goal. Those 3 days were one of the pivotal moments in my life. I felt better. We pounded up the mountain. We got within sight of base camp. It was another 3-4 hours away of hiking. And the way I was hiking, I was going to make it. And then we ran into my group coming down because someone was about to die. And I had to choose, do I go on to Mount Everest base camp and touch it because that was my goal? Or do I turn around and help that girl come down and survive? That was one of the major pivotal moments of my life. It showed me what's important to me and who I am. Would you like to guess what I did, or would you like to read the book?
I want to read the book, but I can guess what you did because I can sense your values for sure. I can sense your values. I think you're a true trailblazer in that sense. It's literal and what's the other word? Figuratively. Thank you, Jamie. That's why we need each other.
Yes, that's why we need
That's
each
an
other.
amazing story. I think that is just so inspirational, and it shows your heart as well. I love that.
And so you are also a feng shui, and correct me, just tell me the pronunciation, Wendy, please. Put me out of my misery. Yes, you are a feng shui, would you say a master?
I would call myself a master feng shui consultant. And the reason I say that is because somebody that I go to for training, I call them a feng shui master. So I'm a high-level feng shui consultant, and the first one I believe that is from the Caribbean and that lives in the Caribbean. So that's another hat, another passion of mine. I have many passions. The flying was my first big one, but hiking is another passion, adventure is another passion, feng shui is another passion, dancing is a passion. I believe we live because of our passions. So we enjoy our life because of our passions. Right. I'm a master feng shui consultant, yes.
That's beautiful. And how would you say this directly impacts your clients that come to you for feng shui? Like this, how does this bleed, for want of a better word, into their lives once you do that consultation with them, and I guess feng shui their space? What does that look like? What's the process there?
if one Googles feng shui, you'll see all kinds of things that I don't necessarily subscribe to.
Okay.
Feng shui is all about the energy that you bring to a situation. And it starts not with your moving your bed and your space. It starts inside of you. So I work with the energy of the person, the energy of the dog or their horse or whatever the actual well-being is wanted for. I work with the energy from the inside out. And then we create the energetic space that supports that live being. And if it's you, I start with you. I make sure that we understand what's really going on in you and what your energetic needs are. Then we look at your space, we address your space, and your space feeds you back that energy. I'm sure you all know that if you're in a place that feels good to you, you thrive. And that's the purpose.
That is so
Oh my
important.
gosh, I so believe that, Wendy. Yes, because like even in my studio, that is my happy place, and I feel so good in that space. And so there's definitely, I totally agree about the energy. That energy it's a real thing. A lot of people may not really know about it or believe in it, but I certainly do. And yes, there is definitely a different energy when this space is really really a good positive space for you, and when it's not.
Yeah, you can feel that when you go into some buildings, yes. Yeah.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And Jamie, I would like to suggest that because you feel that way in your studio, you are functioning in a much better place. You are your higher self. You're your better self than if you were feeling oppressed or depressed by the environment that you were in. So it has to work with who you are and what comes from inside of you and what you're trying to dream of achieving with your moment or your day or your studio. It starts with you. And we all respond to the places that are not good for us, just that people don't necessarily associate it with the energy of the space. But it's all about the energy, everything.
Yes.
When you talk to me and when people relate to me, they feel my energy, whether I'm being Captain Wendy or whether I'm being Hiker Wendy or whether I'm being Feng Shui Master Wendy. They feel my energy and they respond to that. It's all about the energy.
I wanted to ask, sorry to interrupt, I wanted to ask Wendy, how did you first become aware of your higher self?
That's something I think I was born with, but I developed it in stages. There were times in my life when it was very present, when I was in my teens actually. It was very close to my awareness. And then there were times then I discovered boys, and that I had other interests from my and then later on as I grew into my full maturity, that became more and more important to reconnect and still have the boys, but reconnect with my true self and my spirit. And I have never looked back. I've never lost that. It's the center of what I do and who I am.
Yes. Second question. I have another question. I'm genuinely curious here. My reasoning behind this is I'd love to know your secret to cultivating your connection to your higher self. So, for example, do you have a morning routine that you start with?
Yes, I do. But is that something we should be telling everybody in the world on this program?
Well, I wanted to share a little bit about what connects me to my higher self, and I was wondering if it's a bit of journaling, a bit of talking to myself, and a bit of tuning into my intuition. And I wondered if it was something that was that other people do first thing in the morning. That's part of my morning routine.
Yeah, so I definitely do it. But Wendy, if it is that like you don't feel comfortable sharing, that is no problem. We totally understand and stuff. So tell us a little bit about what you have in the works now, because you seem like a person that has all these dreams that they are achieving. So I know that you have something new on the burner. So tell us what that might be.
I will do both, Jamie. I will answer briefly the previous question. Every morning, I do up to an hour of gratitude and meditation and connecting with the divine. And I believe that if you don't have that time, as this morning, because of the time of our show, I did not have that time. I did 15 minutes instead. But I consider it as essential as breathing that I spend that time for myself.
Great.
The other question, you see, you gave me the courage to try to say it on national TV.
Thank you for sharing that, Wendy. I really think that's really impactful for me, especially. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's impactful for everybody, because I think that, like, it's only when we are here or we are given the knowledge that we can know. So when you listen to people who are inspiring and you see what their path is and their journey, then you're like, oh, well, you know, maybe I can try that. Because I also believe in a morning routine and meditation and connecting to source and to God and stuff before I do anything. So definitely what you said resonated with me too, Wendy, and I think it would resonate with a lot of people. But but back to this, but back to your story and stuff. So so you were telling us.
Yes. So you were asking what I'm working on now. Many things. I always wear more than one hat. Even when I was a pilot, I had several hats. I had an eco-adventure company at one point for many years, etc., etc. In this case, now that I'm retired, my life is rich and full, again, with many hats. So I'm the environmental director of Yahweh Foundation in Tobago, and I'm running an environmental awareness program for the secondary school kids of Tobago. And that just paused for a while, but it's going to restart later in the year, and I'm looking forward to that. I have a team, but I'm the inspiration, I'm the guide, and I created the program. And the team, thank goodness, are wonderful. And I'm also launching now an initiative where I do inspirational talks for the women and youth of the Caribbean. I'm looking for corporate sponsors or NGOs who support that, who are Caribbean strong, and who have a commitment to supporting those cohorts, to partner with me, to absorb me into their program, to give young people and women the opportunity to hear me, to feel me, and to realize that if I can do it, so can they. Because my journey was a challenging one, and I know what it feels like, I know what it takes, I know how it is to push against the ceilings. I know what it is to not have money. I know what it is to have no one believe in you. I know what it is to find yourself in all those positions and start walking. And I would like to share that energy and that belief system with the people who need it most. And right now, I think our youth need it, and I think our women in many places in the Caribbean need it very much.
I totally agree with that, Wendy, for sure. So you have accomplished so much. Out of all of your accomplishments, which one is the one that you are proudest of?
My ballroom dancing.
Oh my gosh, that is dancing. I love dancing. I absolutely love dancing. I don't do it enough though. But yes, but ballroom dancing it's very intense too. I love it though. So yeah, and so do you dance in where you are and stuff? Or you are in Tobago, right?
Yes, I'm in Tobago, and we have. It's very strong in Tobago, and we have a competition every year, so I go for that. And I get to look very pretty and dance my heart out. And it's another one of my passions. It's another one of the things that I do that feed my soul. So it's a package. We are all a package. And I think you should explore the different muscles that you have and the dreams that you have without fear.
For sure. And so that is some great advice. And do you have any other pieces of advice that you would want to give to our audience and stuff? Like, what would you tell them?
It doesn't change, My advice is listen to your heart and your connection with the divine. Find who you really are inside. That means you need to find a quiet space away from other people telling you things or things hitting on you. Find the quiet space, connect with who you are, and remember that you are magical, unique, and special. And start believing that, knowing that, embracing that, and you will find then what you want to do with this wonderful journey that called life. Start walking. Yes, you can fulfill your dreams of yours.
That's brilliant. I think all women needed to hear that, all people, especially the women that are up and coming, trailblazers, and women in leadership as well. It's so important to have mentors and women in leadership like yourself that can look at the creative side, look at the intellectual side, and see so many different facets and embrace all of that to be this well-rounded woman that makes her mark on society. And I just really love that, and I thank you as well for sharing so much of what you've shared with us today. I just love it. I love that you're in Tobago as well. It's my favorite place to holiday to.
It's really, yes. Wendy, it has been such a pleasure, because I think you have shown us and our viewers that you can do whatever it is that you want to do. Because you've showed us so many different facets of your personality, and I thank you so much for sharing that, because that is what we need to hear more of. We need to hear those stories of women that are doing so many different things, and they are going after their dreams and their passions. Yeah. So is there anything else that you would like to tell us about? Any sort of wisdom you want to share with us?
If anyone is interested in learning more about my journey, I would ask them to have the courage to get my book and read my book and follow along my journey, because I think it makes a really good companion for anyone who's struggling. It's called The Courage to Fly. And by that, I mean to fly on your own wings. So that's what I can leave with the audience. Brilliant. Find the courage to fly, literally and figuratively.
I am going to get that book. I cannot wait to read it. I have a book list as long as my arm, and I just love to read. Yes. And this is also part of my morning routine, because I'm freshest in the morning. So I start with the journaling and the bits and pieces, meditation, prayer. And then I read a little bit of a book that I tend to read a few books at one time. So I'll read a passage from each book. I just can't otherwise. And I cannot wait to add this to my list. I really appreciate it. I cannot wait. And I will feed it back to you as well, if you're open to, as I want to tell you what I think.
I definitely look forward to that.
Yes, and I really hope that you'll join us again at some point in the future. I can't wait to hear about all the things that will progress for you. I really want to look into your healing spaces, the feng shui as well. I definitely love the side of the energy work that you're doing. I definitely want to bring this to a lot of women as well that we work with. And I think this is something, Jamie, you probably love to do with your women as well, with your boudoir shoots.
Yeah, definitely. I think that whenever we go deeper with our clients about it, always leads to discovery, and this is always a great path to be on. And so definitely
letting their energy bloom.
So Wendy, thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate it so very much, and we can't wait to hear more about your adventures. So we would love to have you back at some point.
Brilliant.
Ladies, it's been a pleasure for me too, so thank you for the opportunity to chat. Have a wonderful day.
Okay,
great.
You too.
Enjoy
Bye-bye.
International Women's Day. Thank you, Wendy.
Okay, we can talk with Wendy.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. You were amazing.
We are off air.
We are off air. Okay, good. Because it's not showing that on this side.
Here is the WESN News on the Hour. I am Sarah Ali. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. Stakeholder Workshop unveils comprehensive referral map to combat trafficking in persons. Duma concerned of the interruptions at the port. URP foreman was shot dead at River Estate, and internationally, U.S. military to construct a port in Gaza. Now for the details. A recent stakeholder workshop held at Cascadia Hotel and Conference Center in the Port of Spain highlighted the development of a comprehensive referral map aimed at enhancing victim care through an integrated approach. Themed partnering to combat trafficking in persons, the workshop focused on streamlining victim assistance by delineating clear pathways for referral and support services across governmental and non-governmental agencies. Through critical dialogue and experiential learning, participants reviewed best practices and strategized ways to strengthen victim support mechanisms. The counter-trafficking unit reaffirmed its commitment to combating human trafficking and protecting the rights and dignity of all individuals affected by this crime. The Downtown Owners and Merchants Association is concerned with what it described as the repeated interruption of operations on the port of Port of Spain. DOMA claims they are vessels of major shipping lines which remain offshore, unable to berth or discharge their cargo. It says whatever issues may have precipitated the action needs to be resolved in the best interest of the general well-being of Trinidad and Tobago economy. Yorpri Foreman was shot dead at River Estate in Tigomartin on Wednesday afternoon. The victim, 55-year-old Vince Dackel, aka Doblo, was walking towards his vehicle around 3 p.m. when a gunman approached him and shot at him several times about his body. The police was contacted and responded, and Dackel was taken to the hospital for medical treatment where he succumbed to his injuries. Crime scene investigators processed the scene and recovered several spent shell casings. In international news, President Joe Biden is to announce that the U.S. military will construct a port in Gaza to get more humanitarian aid into territory by sea, senior U.S. officials said. The temporary port will increase the amount of humanitarian assistance to Palestinians by hundreds of additional truckloads per day, officials say. However, it will not include U.S. troops on the ground in Gaza, they said. The UN warns that a quarter of the population is on the brink of famine. The port will take a number of weeks to set up. Well, that's it. News on the hour on WESN. I am Sarah Ali. Thank you for watching.
Hi everyone, this is Wendy Fitzwilliam and I invite you to Woman Power, a wonderful show celebrating women on International Women's Day, March 8th at Napa. Won't you join me? So looking forward to seeing you there. Tons and tons of amazing, fabulous woman talent. Mwah.
I am the whole blinking market.
The countdown has started for the most entertaining ladies event ever. Get your tickets for Woman Power.
Who won the world? Who won the world?
Under the patron of Senator the Honorable Donna Cox, the network of NGOs is proud to invite you this Friday, March 8th, 7 p.m. at the luxurious Napa Auditorium. Enjoy powerful and talented divas like Nadia Batson, Bonnet Bigfoot, Carol Addison, Nisha B, the Xavier String, Kareen Ashe, and a special guest performance from Neval Chaitla. And the host of this esteemed event, the 1998 Miss Universe and still very beautiful Miss Wendy Fitzwilliam.
This girl is on fire.
Tickets for Woman Power this Friday at Napa are $300 reserved and $250 general admission. And they're getting scarce and getting scarce. For more information, call 678-7549 or 491-1802. This is Woman Power.
They go keep their money, I go keep my honey and die with my dignity.
Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, the Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378 or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com.
Knowing how to tell authentic is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Find it, match it, search it. Step 1. Find the style number on the tag. Step 2. Match the style number inside the jersey with the number on the tag. Step 3. Search it. A quick Google search of the style number will verify the jersey is authentic when the search results match the jersey being searched. Don't be fooled by counterfeit jerseys. Before you buy, remember to find it, match it, search it.
Fan Zone, 2 locations nationwide. Center City Mall, Chaguanas and Movietown, Port of Spain. Nationwide delivery available.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
The newest book is here, Closer to the Church, the debut novel by author and former mayor Louis Lee Singh. Available at all the home store branches, Barataria, West Mall, Chaguanas and C3 San Fernando. Paper-based bookshop 10 Nook Avenue, St. Anne's. WESN 30A Gattaca Street, Woodbrook. Metropolitan Bookshop, Ariapita Avenue, Woodbrook, and all RIK bookstores nationwide. Available online as paperback on Amazon.com and Kindle for e-readers. For more info, call 628-5235 or 389-6504. Also available from author Louis Lee Singh.
Yeah.
I Used to Live in Heaven, Letters to My Granddaughters, and Local Government in Trinidad, Conspiracy Against the People.
WESN recognizes International Women's Day 2024. The global theme for this year is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress.
Oh, you're having some of it?
International Women's Day provides an important moment to showcase commitment to women's equality, launch new initiatives and actions, celebrate women's achievements, raise awareness, highlight gender parity gains, and more. Collectively, everyone can make a difference within their sphere of influence by taking concrete actions to help build a more gender equal world. Happy International Women's Day from the management and staff of WESN Content Capital.
We are back. Welcome. This is a special edition of AM Prime. I am here with you. I have my co-host. I'm Jamie Rampersad, and this is my co-host, Lauren Lee Kong.
Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you for joining us today. I have a great guest with us today, and I would love to introduce her. This is Dr. Daniela Fifi. She is a trailblazer in the art world, and she has been educated internationally in the US and the UK, and has been awarded several fellowships, including in Columbia University. She has taught art education, world art history, and human development in the arts, and she serves on the editorial board of the Arts and Museum Education consultant at Central Bank Museum. I think I mixed that up a little bit there, sorry guys, but I'll let Daniela introduce herself properly.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for having me on the show today, and happy International Women's Day, Trinidad and Tobago, and all of our viewers. I'm Dr. Daniela Fifi. I recently moved back to Trinidad. I'm very excited, and I'm sort of hit the ground running, looking into education initiatives and the arts community here in Trinidad.
Very nice.
So tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. How I came to art education, to the arts. Yeah, Laurie and I were speaking about it very recently, and I think vocational careers is something that you're born with. It's embedded in you from a very young age, and I was lucky enough to grow up in a family of artists, or those who are inspired by creativity. I have interior designers in my family, architects, engineers that design. My brother designs boats. My sister is a fashionista. So I've always been inspired in that community at home, but also wider. I see Trinidad as a sort of creative, budding creativity, bursting from all ends. So growing up in Trinidad, being in that creative community, it was sort of natural that I moved into the arts. And I went to school with Laurie at Holy Name Convent, and I continued that stream of doing the arts and eventually moved off into the UK and the US to study. And it was something that was organic. It just kept growing in me, and I kept listening to the call, and it pushed me further and further. And I think with vocational careers, the more that you follow that drive inside of you, that passion that just ignites a sort of excitement in you, the world aligns in a certain way, and paths start opening themselves to you, and you sort of venture in that lane, and it becomes your whole life. Before you know it, you're deep in it, you understand it, and it's part of who you are. It's not a job, it's not a career, it's who you are as a person.
I want to speak a little bit on alignment. I love that you brought that up, being in alignment with your purpose and your path. And you say that a lot of people in your family have that creative streak in them that inspired you. So tell us how you got to study in the US, a little bit about what you studied in depth and your experience there.
Yeah, so I say that I talk about being in alignment, and although I've always been within the arts, I've been within different sort of genres of it. I started at home as a painting, having exhibitions, dabbling in photography, more on the sort of studio side of things. And then when I moved to the US, I decided, okay, I wanted to stay within that realm, and I went into communications design, which is essentially graphic design and advertising. And in doing that and being in the advertising world, I didn't feel as though it was the right alignment for me. I knew that I wanted to be within the arts, but I wasn't sure if that was the right fit. And I had family members here guide me and say, why don't you think about museums? Why don't you think about working in museums or in sort of the educational realm of things? Because you're within the arts, you're not necessarily a practicing artist, but you are working with a lot of practicing artists. You're within that community. And I went to the UK, I studied museum studies, I worked in galleries there, I worked in some museums there, doing different types of fellowships, internship types of jobs, and it felt right. And once it felt right in my spirit, I kept doing that, and ever since I've been working in museums, within different departments, but working within museums.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's amazing.
Sorry,
you go ahead.
So when doors have, so you spoke about doors opening up to lead you to the next path and stuff.
Yeah.
So what brought you back home?
Right, yeah. No, the thing is I think part of who I would say, I'm generalizing here, but part of who I am is deeply Caribbean, deeply Trinidadian. And I feel that's something within our people as well, being a Trini or a Trini everywhere. And it's what I pursued when I decided to study the arts. I stuck within Caribbean arts, which was challenging in the US because there wasn't necessarily a curriculum for somebody who wanted to study Caribbean arts. So I had to sort of piece together piece together classes from around the US to create my own space and advocate for myself that I wanted to be within, stay within the Caribbean focus. And after that, I thought to myself, you know, why I've gained all of this knowledge now, this expertise, academic and professional experience, and it's focused on the region. Why don't I move back home? I feel that this is the best place to be, to really nurture that calling.
Yeah, the roots,
yeah.
The roots that were calling you.
Yes.
That's why I came back home as well. The roots were calling me, the
yes.
connection with home.
Right,
yeah,
yes.
And I actually really would love, I was saying to you when we met earlier this week, that I really want to discover that cultural side of Trinidad, rediscover, because I was gone for so long. So
yeah.
how are you finding that cultural side now that you're back?
Right, so I've only been back home, I would say, for roughly a month, so I'm still exploring. Yeah, very new. And of that month, Carnival was in the middle, so, you know, there's not a lot of exploring of other things other than Carnival at that time. But I know there's a lot of exciting things happening, and I anticipate moving into the arts community and learning more about it. So far, I'm consulting at Central Bank. They have a beautiful museum, I would say one of the top in Trinidad and Tobago. And they have a really extensive art collection as well. So I've started as a consultant there in museum education, and I'm working with their team in developing education programming for schools and also for public programs as well. So I'm in conversation with them about that, and I'm really impressed at the vested interest and institutional buy-in that they are giving me as support of envisioning that. And I have to mention my Naima Zakuri, because she is a woman, I would say a trailblazer in the field as well, that is supporting these types of ventures. Yes, yeah.
That's amazing. That's so great to have that woman strong team as well.
Yes.
Going with the theme of today, we were
yes.
talking about how women need to do it together. You know, they need to connect and uplift each other.
Yes.
And especially in your field, that is, I think, so important to make a name for ourselves in the nicest possible way, make a mark on society the way we want to, the way that we would have maybe liked to have seen for ourselves. We are now making that mark as well, and there have been several mentors that I'm sure you would have had. So yeah, I would love to talk a little bit on your mentors that you sort of look up to, and who's guiding you.
Yeah. So, you know, mentorship for me has really been something that has never been focused on one particular person or even sometimes a person per se. I have found mentorships in many different people at different stages of my advancement according to what type of assistance or advice I was seeking. And I see mentorship as an avenue of not just somebody sort of leaning on somebody for advice, but someone who sees the obstacles in your journey, who can open those avenues for you that may be very difficult when you're sort of emerging or trying to maneuver through spaces that are unfamiliar to you. And I have had many of those, and it has never been one person, it's been many. Yeah. And I've also found that reading is really important as a form of mentorship. Finding authors that have maybe gone down the trail that you seek to go down as well, have come out on the other side. I know Wendy, right before us, had written a book about to fly, and she can be a mentor through her book, through her scholarship. That you can find mentors in writing and literature, and listening, reflecting on their journeys helps you sort of find solutions within yours. And it becomes more of a sort of a reflective practice in reading and then assessing your own life and how to move through the different avenues that you wish to break.
What would you say is one of your favorite books then that has really impacted your life?
Yeah, so I think people must be really tired of me recommending this book. So there's a book by Adam Grant. It's called why am I forgetting the name right now? It's Give and Take.
Yeah,
it's a thing with Adam Grant. Yeah, it's a business book. Yeah, it's a business book, and it's about givers, matchers, and takers, and the journey to success in having those different personality types. And the stereotype of generally thinking that, you know, if your personality type that is a taker, someone who's centered on themselves, on their own journey and their own advancement, that is the personality traits that you would need in order to succeed. And he argues in the book that, and through statistics and through his own studies from business analysis, that givers, people who are more generous-minded, that are a bit more selfless, when they do succeed, they tend to stay at the top longer because they have a community of people that they have impacted on their journey that support them and want to sustain them at the top. And I found that so motivational for my own journey. I analyze myself as a giver. And at times it can be challenging when you're moving through spaces with a very generous personality of being taken advantage of knowing and deciphering, having discernment of where to place your energy when you're generously minded. But he gives a real overview that those obstacles do come, but there is, when you do succeed, which will take a longer journey, that you sustain it for a more endured period of time. Yeah.
That's an amazing message, actually. I love that. Yeah, that is such a great message, because I think that in our society today, so many people are takers, right? So many people have that scarcity mindset as opposed to the abundance mindset.
That's a good point.
And and I feel that more and more books that are out there that supports abundance,
right?
Is needed. We need to see that, that it's all about your mindset. And
bringing that back to womanhood. I think generally speaking, and especially within the field in art education and museum education where I live, it's mainly women that are centered within this field, within education. And women have been, I guess, conditioned in a particular way to be nurturing, to be givers. And that can become, that can live in a space where you feel taken advantage of, you feel exhausted by, giving, draining your energy and that type of thing. And the name of the book is Give and Take. And the advantage of the book is that it shows you that these assets are not disadvantages to you. These assets actually lead you to be very successful, and not only successful, but maintaining success in a way that takers cannot. Yeah.
I wanted to ask, so you talked about knowing where to place your energy. How do you tune in to what guides you to where to place your energy, you in particular?
Right. I think that comes through self-reflection, being, I see exercise as a space where I hone in on my energies, and you would, you're a fitness guru, so so I think I see exercise as important as centering, and I use it as a vehicle to clear my mind, and I use it as a means of once I've had a workout, after working out, I kind of think through the day. I tend to do that early in the morning, think through the day, and in doing that, I guess it comes intuitively to me. But it takes a certain sort of releasing of energy to then replenish it and know, all right, this is what I need to do today. These are who need to be involved in the project. Maybe I need to redirect something a certain way. But I see exercise as a stress relief that helps refocus energy.
Right. I think you're so right there, and I do want to touch on that point just a little bit. That the exercise clears the cobwebs.
Right.
It makes you sharper.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
There is something in this for sure, because I've noticed this with my clients, where they are probably 20 minutes into a session, they are brighter, they are breathing differently, they are feeling more positive, they, like you say, they are clearer about their day. What you want to focus on goes boom, boom, boom. And okay, cool, this is where I'm going to put my energy, because I feel good inside. I feel grounded, centered. Because the thing is, I do think exercise has a big part to play, and the breath work. And with the breath work, you kind of slow down. You encourage yourself to tune in to that intuition that you're talking about. I definitely support this. I've definitely found this. Jamie, I know that you do your exercise in the morning as well.
Yeah, so definitely I think that mindfulness and really like slowing down and saying, okay, what is it am I really supposed to do today? Do you realize we don't do that a lot? We get up and, well, we will have our morning routine, but chances are we have a schedule, right? And we will just be like, okay, do. But the thing is that I think that there is such power in just stopping, being still, and saying, okay, is this really what I need to do?
Yeah.
You know, I want to talk a little bit about your plans since you've been back. What are you up to? What are the exciting things going on in your world? Let's hear about it.
Yeah, so Central Bank, as I mentioned earlier, the Money Museum there, I've started as an arts consultant with them, a little over, I think, maybe 2 months or so, not very long. But I'm very excited by the vision of what we're discussing within developing a museum education plan for the museum. And it will be one of the few in Trinidad, and what we're envisioning is something as one of the most robust in the Caribbean. So we're looking at schools, both primary, secondary, and tertiary level, of engaging them and creating relationships where children will learn about their collections, but also learn about the Central Bank Money Museum collection, but also learn about the bank's art collection. And I'm impressed with the way that they're thinking not only about an educational drive within art education, but they also want to include components that deal with a social justice, sort of societal issues, curriculum where we're thinking of what are some of the challenges that kids are facing in school, and how do we use the museum as a means of alleviating that for them. And then they're also thinking of sort of therapeutic means of using the arts and using their collection, and they've already begun those programs in conversation with Naima Zakuri, who is the curator there. So they want to extend that. So that's another element of things. And right now, I'm working with their creative residents. So they have a creative residency program where they've invited a dance creative person, and then also an artist, and then also a visual artist. And they're working on an exhibition that will go up in July. So I work alongside them, and I'm sort of like a coach, essentially, teaching them about museum education, how they can use it in their practice to diversify their own financial viability within the arts. Being an artist in Trinidad is not always an easy thing, trying to get your work sold. So what are other avenues that you can use to supplement or embellish the grounding of what you already are based on? So we're looking at crafting them into teaching artists, moving some of what they're learning into the school system, where they're using their craft and introducing it to younger audiences, but also thinking of tertiary, so engaging maybe UE or some of the other universities in Trinidad where they'll move into. So it's been exciting. Yeah.
So exciting.
I love that. So we're so happy that you came and spoke with us about all of this that's going on. I think that this initiative with the art education, with all of the tertiary, the primary, the secondary level kids is going to be amazing. And I wish you so much success and so much everything that you want to accomplish. I hope you get it done.
Thank you for coming on today.
Oh,
thank you for having me. The impact that you make on, like you say, all the different levels and on the society, on the Caribbean. I have big hopes for you, and I'm sure you do have a lot of work ahead of you. But honestly, you can totally do it. I definitely think that, we're in a good place to do that. And as you mentioned, you're coaching. We're all coaches in a different way, and you sort of connect with people. And I think, I just love that we are in that space to do that now.
So this is concluding our International Women's Day show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was informative and inspiring, and we are we feel very blessed to have had a platform to voice our opinions and to hopefully inspire more women.
Yeah, I'm very grateful to have had the opportunity to fulfill our dream of doing this together today. We are definitely excited about coming back in the future.
Yeah.
And hopefully have more interesting guests in the future, follow up with Daniela on her career trajectory, and
And we want to thank our director, producer, and everybody at WESN who has supported us through this process. You guys have been amazing. We want to thank our families, friends, all of those people that support us.
Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, we appreciate it very, very much, and hopefully we'll see you guys back, hopefully.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, so all right, well,
enjoy International Women's Day, guys, whatever you're doing.
Have a wonderful day.
Remember to pause, slow down, breathe, and then go for it.
So thanks again.
Thanks again.
Yes.
WESN.
Hi everyone, this is Wendy Fitzwilliam and I invite you to Woman Power, a wonderful show celebrating women on International Women's Day, March 8th at Napa. Won't you join me? So looking forward to seeing you there. Tons and tons of amazing, fabulous woman talent. Mwah.
I am the whole blinking market.
The countdown has started for the most entertaining ladies event ever. Get your tickets for Woman Power.
Who won the world, girls? Who won the world, girls?
Under the patron of Senator the Honorable Donna Cox, the network of NGOs is proud to invite you this Friday, March 8th, 7 p.m. at the luxurious Napa Auditorium. Enjoy powerful and talented divas like Nadia Batson, Bonnet Bigfoot, Carol Addison, Nisha B, the Xavier String, Kareen Ashe, and a special guest performance from Neval Chaitler. And the host of this esteemed event, the 1998 Miss Universe and still very beautiful Miss Wendy Fitzwilliam.
This girl is on fire.
Tickets for Woman Power this Friday at Napa are $300 reserved and $250 general admission. And they're getting scarce and getting scarce. For more information, call 678-7549 or 491-1802. This is Woman Power.